Is Bob Ross?
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
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 Ross. Guy with the hair?
God damn it, Bob Ross, guys. We have to get on point here.
So what happened to Bob Ross?
Jesus, what didn't happen to Bob Ross? He died, dude.
Oh.
Anywho. But Bob Ross got fucked royally. Jesus Christ,
By
it
the
got me
man.
so mad.
By the man. Like
By an old woman, actually.
Really?
Yeah, by an old woman and her husband that's an ex-CIA agent. I'm not fucking... Dude,
What? This turned really quickly.
I know. So anyways, Bob Ross was in the army. He quit so he could paint. It's a beautiful story.
Oh, you say it every time.
Wait, did he quit the army to paint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he started painting.
Fucking
like, he
shave
started-
your head, you fucking hippie.
He started the show right after. Like he left to start the show.
Yeah,
not
and
to
he
paint.
went on the road to paint and teach people. And this old woman, this old fucking hag, went to one of his classes, and she fell in love with him.
Literally?
Literally.
Okay.
Literally. And
Groupie love.
yeah, and she was old back then even. She looks better today. It's odd. She talks to her husband, and it's actually pretty sad. They lost their son in the army.
I had lost a son, and I was desperately grieving.
So she was really hurt, and she had a hole in her heart to fill. So Bob Ross filled that hole. It gets worse, dude. This old woman, their name is the Kowalskis, and they took Bob Ross in. And
What do you mean?
odd about this?
What do you mean
Took
they
Bob
took Bob
Ross
Ross in?
Because he's a poor artist and he's trying to start off his career. They
Okay,
took him
so
into his
he
house.
was young back then.
He was not really young.
Okay.
It all happened really
But
fast.
she was old back then.
She was pretty old. Yeah. Every single person they interviewed in this documentary has gotten sued by the Kowalskis. So this is why it's been a secret for all these years. It's because they just sue everybody. And then she got really jealous over Bob Ross because Bob Ross was just slinging dick at all these shows.
Oh, so he was a little.
When I say
womanizer.
slinging dick, he was the kind of like just more flirting
Okay.
With his dick.
with his dick.
Yeah.
It was the 80s. Everybody was having sex with everybody, dude. Even,
Kowals.
even Bob Ross. How crazy. They took him in and they said, like, we're going to build a TV show around you. So they started doing the TV show. And at the time, Bob Ross and his son, who was like 17 at the time, lived with them.
What?
Does the
She's
number
like,
of
"Oh,
times
fuck
he
it."
fucked her come up?
Not really. No, nobody was keeping track.
What about the husband?
What do you mean? They
The
say
husband isn't in the documentary, and she isn't either. But you can watch this other video, which is titled, I think, like, "Where are the Bob Ross paintings today?" Where those two people come up in that short video where they're talking about him. And I saw that video a long time ago, and my feeling was that she fucked Bob Ross.
I'm old. You know, I know you want to know what that young guy was running around with this old woman. Guess what? Bob and I used to...
Whoa! So they took him in, and he started painting, and it all goes really well at the beginning. They start selling paints, and then the husband says, Bob, if we put this material in the paint, it will be cheaper, and it will kind of be the same. And Bob Ross said, fuck you, dude. I want my paint to be good. Later on, they started selling more things, and they kind of owned the business, Bob Ross Incorporated. And Bob was just on the road. They kept pushing like, but if we make the brushes from these kind of bristles, it'll be cheaper and we'll make a lot more money. And Bob Ross said, fuck you guys. I want my bristles to be good. Good bristles.
He wasn't into it for the money.
There was many arguments about this over the
it's like the hair. that
Yeah,
you
the
put-
hair.
Yeah.
It's a hog hair. Bob Ross got really sick. And his whole point on doing the show was to do the show. His son is a painter, and his son was supposed to take over the show when he died.
Heck, one time he even told me that on the painting show, he didn't paint as well as he could because he wanted to make it easier for me in the future when I took over.
So he got really sick and he didn't tell anybody. And then just in those few last months when the Kowalskis knew that Bob Ross was going to die, they tried to convince him to sign papers to give them his name. And they were really pushy about it. Like, you sign this, you bastard. And he was like, fuck you. I'm not signing shit. I'm Bob Ross, dude. I'm not signing it. So he never signed it, but then he dies, and they take over the company. The son shows up to his father is the face of the company. And the Kowalski said, no, we own your name. Scram, kid.
Is the kid also called Bob Ross?
Steve Ross. Sounds like I'm
Wait,
making up.
so
His name is
Did
Steve
they own
Ross.
his name?
So when Bob Ross,
They do.
Steve Ross?
Dude, he tried to make his own paints. Steve Ross paints. They sued him. They sued him. And also, when Bob
this
Ross
is
died...
all in the documentary.
Yes, and when Bob Ross died, the Kowalskis never told anybody.
That Bob Ross died.
Yeah, they kept it secret. Like,
What do you
people
mean?
knew, and the Kowalskis went like, don't tell anybody that he died. So he died, and people still to this day think he's alive. Because they just kept it secret so they can sell the paint, the videos, and keep Bob Ross alive so they can make money.
So do you still watch their videos?
I do.
I thought the whole point was to not watch.
No,
the
it's
video.
not to buy. Don't buy the paint. Don't buy the brushes or the paint. And anything with the face of Bob Ross on it, and it comes from the Bob Ross Incorporated company. Don't fucking buy it.
Haven't you bought it?
Yes. It was
Before you knew, before you knew.
before I knew.
But don't you give them money by watching their videos?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Can you describe a little bit what your first encounter with Bob Ross was like? What you thought when you met this guy?
I had a positive feeling about him when I saw him.
I was so by Bob that I couldn't paint.
We have happy accidents.
No, I'm not gonna.